Hello again. Dear Vanessa Bousardo, dear Nannette, Lafond, Dufour, ladies and gentlemen, mesdames et messieurs. Domestic violence does not stop at the door of the workplace. It happens in the silence of a home, but its consequences break through the walls. They slip into the corridor of work, into averted eyes, trembling voice, unexplained absence. They steal from a woman her sleep, her energy, her confidence. They shatter lives, and too often, they shatter careers. Every year, thousands of women are victims of violence. They are mothers, colleagues, managers, employees, apprentices. They are the ones who every morning, despite fear, still find the strength to come at work. They are with us every day, and for too long, they have been alone. Today, we take a collective, concrete, and I hope historic step forward. We say no to indifference, to resignation, to silence. And we say yes to solidarity, to shared responsibility, to dignity. This intercompany fund with you, dear Vanessa Bousardo and dear Nannette Lafond Dufour, are launching today, was born from a simple but powerful idea. No woman should have to give up her safety for lack of support, nor her rights for lack of a lawyer. This fund will allow any employee at a partner company victim of domestic violence to have immediate and confidential access to a specialized lawyer. Not in 3 months, but at the very moment she needs it. This initiative is unique. Unique in its philosophy, because it builds a new alliance between the world of business, the world of law, and the world of public action. Unique in its structure, because it will be autonomous, independent, and guided by absolute principles of impartiality and confidentiality. Unique also in its ambition to make the workplace not a place of retreat or indifference, but a space of protection, of recovery, of rebuilding. The companies that choose to take part of this fund are making a powerful statement. They are telling all their employees, here, you're not alone. Here, we do not look away. Here, we stand by you and with you. That is what social responsibility in the 21st century truly means. Not just commitments on paper, but concrete action that restore power and dignity to those who have been deprived of it. I want to pay tribute to all those who made this project possible. The team of the Women's Forum, who on their 20th anniversary chose to turn words into action. The lawyer of the Paris Bar, who will be the daily faces of justice and support. And the pioneer companies, who will be the first to contribute to this fund with courage and leadership. Your commitment opens a path we will widen together, so that tomorrow every company in France can say, we are part of the solution. This launch is not an end, it's a beginning for a movement, beginning for a collective response to a tragedy that has remained silent for too long. The beginning for a lasting alliance between the state, businesses, and civil society. In the coming weeks, this alliance will take shape through the signature of a charter that will formalize our shared commitment, define our common principles, and give this partnership a clear collective voice. Because today, we are not only launching a fund, we are building a movement, one that binds us by conscience and by conviction. And if, thanks to this fund, one woman, just one, finds the courage to step forward, if one woman is able to rebuild a life, they will be already have begun to change the world. Because no life should be lost in silence. Because violence against women is not a news matter. Because the safety of women is everyone's business. Because it is the business and the duty of the nation. Thank you very much.
Many thanks, Minister Bergé. We are next going to be joined on stage by Nannette and Vanessa, who both co-created this wonderful initiative. Thank you.
I'll stand. All right. Bon, merci beaucoup, Madame la Ministre, chère Aurore. Ladies and gentlemen, for the past year as the president of the Women's Forum, I have had one driving obsession, and that is about creating impact. To create initiatives that go, is that me? That go beyond words and into concrete action. My goal has been to make the Women's Forum a place where people from all backgrounds come together, where individual commitments become a collective force. And that, dear Vanessa, is the story of our meeting. I am a woman from business, you, the vice-bâtonnière of Paris, and a deeply committed lawyer. Since I took this role, we have already accomplished many things together. I'm thinking in particular of your Bâtonnière du Monde collective, which was launched at last year's global meeting. And this year, we're taking things even further. The Women's Forum is no longer just a place where ideas are welcomed, it's a place where they can be born. A few months ago, during our trip with the UN Commissioner on the Status of Women, with Madame la Ministre Aurore Bergé, one question drove our discussions, and that is, how can we better protect women who are victims of violence? Today, 62% of women experiencing domestic violence are employed. And that number is staggering, and it compels us as members of the business community to act. Vanessa, you as a lawyer see these women every day, women who come seeking help, often not knowing where to turn, and that's the real issue. If a colleague tells me they're sick, I recommend a doctor. If someone comes and says that they are a victim of violence, the response is often to simply leave. And that's not helpful, because the situation isn't just personal, it's also legal. And the person best equipped to help is a lawyer, because, as you often remind me, the law is a very powerful tool. From that reflection came an idea we're both very proud of, to propose the creation of an intercompany fund to support employees who are victims of domestic violence. And the principle is simple. Companies contribute a small financial amount, and if an employee becomes a victim, they can contact the fund directly without going through their HR or a manager. The fund connects them with a specialized lawyer and the legal fees are covered up to a certain amount. It's perhaps not a revolutionary idea, but it's new, it's pragmatic, it's concrete, and is deeply needed today. The fund will be independent and fully operational within 6 months and open to any company that wishes to join. But to make it thrive, we need all of you, your commitment, your support, and, of course, your financial resources. We're extremely proud of this project, and I hope that together we can bring it to life so that every woman, every colleague, every person in distress knows they're not alone. Thank you. I turn it to you, my friend.
Madame la Ministre, chère Aurore Bergé, merci beaucoup. Chère Nannette, over the past few years, fighting violence against women has become a national priority in France. And this is not only a social issue, it's also a workplace issue, because most of women who experience domestic violence are as well also employed. And this violence naturally doesn't stay at home. This violence follows them to work. More and more companies, more and more organizations understand this. They want to look beyond productivity and performance. They want to play a social role. They want, in other words, to stand by their employees, even in difficult times. But it's true that today, when companies offer legal aid to their employees, it's often provided by professionals who are not lawyers. And the next step, and a meaningful one, would be for these companies to contribute to a share fund dedicated to legal support. That's the reason why of the creation of such a fund is therefore proposed today. It comes from a strong belief. No protection system can be truly effective without the involvement of lawyers. So how will this fund work? In practice, it will be very easy because employee will have the possibility to speak, to turn to her company, which will redirect her to the fund, or for reason of confidentiality, the employee can choose to address, to contact directly the fund. But in both situations, the fund will provide the same support to help cover part of the legal fees and, if needed, to connect the employee with qualified lawyers experienced in domestic violence cases. Through such a fund, companies can stand by their employees in the most decisive moment, when access to lawyers means access to justice. Thank you so much, dear Nannette, for making this possible together. By acting like this, Women's Forum is a true actor in the fight against domestic and sexual violence. This fund is more than assistance. It's a signal, it's a commitment, a collective commitment. Commitment of companies that refuse indifference and choose to make the workplace a place of protection, a place of solidarity and dignity. Thank you all.